Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? It's an amazing day for all of us. Please keep in your prayers the people in Florida. And I haven't checked the news since last night, but I hope everybody's safe. So today we're going to talk about trust. Ooh, that's a biggie. Just trust me, they say. No matter how old they are, they need to be able to be trusted, and you need for them to trust you. Wow, that's a big thing. So, one of the things I believe is that we have to learn practice in trusting, and it can be started very, very young. You know, the kid who gets in says, I want a cookie, and you say no because it's almost dinner time, and you go into another room and you come back, and that child's got their hand in the cookie jar. Yes, absolutely. So that's the beginning of trust. So, what do you do with that? You know, trust is something that isn't always easy for us, even with adults. It works two ways. You want your child to trust you, and you want to trust your child. So it's a matter of putting a guideline there, being realistic, um, not to take it personally. Just because they did something that you expected that they had better values, that you had taught them better, you're going to take that all in? No. They have a free will, and they have choice, and they have to learn. And that's part of our process, is for them to be able to learn, to be able to talk about trust. I talked about this a little bit last week. Our video was all messed up, and it was just that was my trust. I trusted that it was going to work, and it didn't. It happens. We mess up, and our kids mess up too. But if we, as Alicia always says, listen and keep that communications open, then the trust can look different. Those doors open, that communication is open. And so, they're going to be able to find a place in their selves of what their boundaries is. Do they want their parents to trust them when they become teenagers and they say, I'm going to Joey's, and you find out later they weren't at Joey's, she was at Jimmy's hanging out with Jimmy. Oh my gosh. But what was it inside of that child that made them want to say, I'm going to push the button a little further? I'm going to challenge and see if I don't get caught. That's always the part. But from my experience, whether you get caught or not, you still carry that guilt. You still want to say, I messed up. I wasn't at, Joey's. I went out and hung out with Charlie. He needed my help. He needed a friend. There's always circumstances around it. It's just like when you say that you're going to go meet your girlfriends, okay, for dinner. But then you get a better offer. But they trusted you to come and spend that time with them. And then they see you out with that other person. Their respect and their feeling towards you changes. So we have to lay a boundary with our children early on, but we also have to lay a boundary of finding the consequences. And consequences equal the trust. In other words, if they got the cookie out of the cookie jar, you might not give them a punishment, if you want to call it that, or a situation for them to fix it. Now, putting their hand in the cookie jar and getting that cookie, and that child is 5 years old, might not be the same circumstances as the girl who went and hung out with her boyfriend. True? But you have to be realistic, realistic in the way that the boundaries are understood. That when you communicate with your child and when you talk to them about trust, they need to be able to know that there's circumstances. It might be the older kid gets grounded. The younger kid doesn't get to have cookies for the whole week. So, it's okay to be able to set boundaries. But in the household, everybody has to be boundaries. Now, the part of this that I want to reverse is this. Do you show trust to your child? Do they trust you? It's not just about them. You are the example. You are the one who shows them integrity. When you say, I'm going to take you to Mary's house at 10 o'clock, and now it's 10:30, they trusted you. They trusted you to pick them up for school. They trusted you to buy their clothes. They've trusted you from the day that they were born. But we as adults also break those trusts. And so we need to share and embrace the opportunity to let our kids know we all make mistakes. But when we continue to do it, then our trust gets less and less. Example, my dad was always late, and we were always late for school. And so my trust with him broke down, but he didn't get the circumstances. I got them. I trusted him, and he didn't get me to school on time. We break those boundaries early on in our child's life. It's hard to reestablish them. So take a breather. They're going to break your trust at different points in their lives. Make sure that the situation equals what it breaks. Don't go back, though, and lose it. Oh my God, you did it. No. Be the parent. Take a breath. And what I have learned is the longer you wait to confront them about the situation, the harder it makes for them. And I know that there were times when I waited to deal with the issue so that I could talk to my daughter in a calm situation. And before long, she told me what she did, because guilt is something hard to manage, something that comes out, and they don't want to lie, and they don't want to carry it. But if that doesn't happen, still, it's very, very important that you don't come back with yelling or screaming, but you come back with a calmness to say, we're going to figure this out, and we're going to do it together. And, you know, talk about what are trust. Have those discussions early on. And as they get older, change those factors. Look at those factors down for them. So today, I want to leave you with a couple of important things. Trust is something that works both ways. Do you trust your child? Does your child trust you? Next week is the beginning of October. And as Alicia Marcus Birong, the CEO of Guided Choices, I want to let y'all know that starting next month and for the next 3 months, we're going to have a guest once a month. We picked a topic, and for this situation, this month, for October, we're going to talk about anxiety. And so be ready to talk about anxiety in your child on all different kinds of level for the whole month. And then the next month, we'll have another topic and so on and so on. So this is Alicia Marcus Birong from Guided Choices. If you have any comments, please let me know what you're thinking about what I'm doing here. And so that I can also pick topics that you're interested in. Thanks for listening. Have an amazing day and stay safe.